So we have three ways of determining, three categories of determining if a woman is pregnant. The first one is going to be for presumptive signs. So presumptive signs are signs of pregnancy, and they're mostly observations taken by the mother herself, and it's not done by an examiner, it's not done by a doctor, specifically by the mother. And these presumptive signs include amenorrhea, so amenorrhea, amenorrhea, which basically means when a mother does not have menstruation, so she has no period. No period. That's one indication of presumptive sign of pregnancy. Then you have your usual nausea and vomiting, which is another presumptive sign of pregnancy. And then you have quickening. Which is basically movement. So which is the fetus is moving. And this is usually indicated at around 16 to 20 weeks. So around 16 to 20 weeks, the mother can sense quickening, which is movement of the fetus. And this is another presumptive sign of pregnancy. And then you have increase in urination. Increase in urination. So the frequency of urination, that's another presumptive sign of pregnancy. And another one is breast tenderness. So breast tenderness and fatigue. So these categories, presumptive signs of pregnancy, you have amenorrhea, no period, nausea and vomiting, you have quickening, which is a movement of the baby around the 16 to 20 week mark, you have increase in urination, you have breast tenderness and fatigue. These are all signs of presumptive pregnancy. Alright, so right now I'm going to do a video on probable signs of pregnancy. And so for probable signs of pregnancy, these are objective observation gathered by a physical examiner. So this is when a woman is being physically examined. So the first one is, we have Goodale sign. Goodale sign. That occurs at approximately 6 weeks. So Goodale occurs at approximately 6 weeks, and is basically softening of the cervical. So a soft cervix is a good sign. That's a good way to memorize it. And so that's what it is, a cervical softening. And that occurs at around 6 weeks. So Goodale sign, 6 weeks, cervical softening. And then next we're gonna have Chadwick sign. We have Chadwick sign, and that occurs at around 6 to 8 weeks, and that is blue/purple birth canal caused by increased blood flow to the area. So it's basically a color of blue to purple, and blue-purple of the birth canal. And it's just for my reference, it's caused by an increased blood flow to the area. So we have Goodale signs that occurs around 6 weeks. We have Chadwick sign that occurs around 6 to 8 weeks. Goodale signs, cervical softening. Chadwick sign, it refers more to the color, blue/purple color of the birth canal due to increased blood flow to the area. And third, we have Heger sign. Which is a softening of the lower uterine. softening of the lower uterine. Softening of lower uterine. Of the lower uterine segment due to increased blood supply. Due to increased blood supply. And so those are the three main signs for probable signs of objective pregnancy. And moving on, we're going to have Braxton Hicks. So Braxton Hicks is practice contraction. Braxton Hicks or practice contractions. Or practice contractions. And moving on, we have ballottement. We have ballottement, which is when at around 6 to 8 weeks, when a ballotment is pretty much diagnosed when you're diagnosed the return of impact. So it's basically when the examiner is applying his fingers into the vaginal canal, and you should be feeling, you should be able to apply pressure, and the baby, for lack of a better word, should be able to bounce. So fetus against finger, diagnosed by feeling the return of impact of the displaced fetus, otherwise known as bouncing baby, and this occurs around 16 to 18 weeks. Or my notes I have is 16 to 18 weeks according to simple nursing. And it's basically it's basically applying finger into the birth canal, into the vaginal area, and you should be able to have the baby kind of move by applying pressure with your fingers. All right, fetus, so finger against fetus. I'm gonna put that finger against fetus. Bouncing baby. I just noticed bouncing baby. Would this be? It's a good way to memorize it. And positive pregnancy HCG test. So an increased levels of HCG. That's also another indicator of a pregnancy. So just a regular pregnancy test, HCG. But just to note, false positives are likely to occur. False positive are potential. So HCG pregnancy test, they can be done, and that's considered a probable sign of pregnancy. If you were to do HCG test, the best HCG test, the best time to do it will be a urine sample in the morning. So best time, morning urine sample. Morning urine sample. And cancer and diuretics can also cause a false positive. So for probable signs of objective pregnancy done by an examiner, Goodell sign, which is a cervical softening. So a soft cervix is a good sign. Another way to memorize it. Chadwick sign, blue/purple birth canal caused by increased blood flow to area. Heger sign, softening of the lower uterine segment due to increased blood supply. And Braxton Hicks, which is practice contractions. Ballottement, which is applying your finger into the fetus, and you should be able to feel a return, otherwise known as bouncing baby. So it's diagnosed by feeling the return of impact of the displaced fetus. And last but not least, positive sign of pregnancy by HCG pregnancy test, which the best time to do it is in the morning with a urine sample. So now I'm about to do positive sign of pregnancy. So we already done presumptive, we've done probable, now we're about to do positive. So positive signs of pregnancy. So, and these are diagnostic, these are diagnosed, and these are absolute proof. These are absolute proof. The positive signs of pregnancy. So the first one is going to be actually fetal heart beat. So FEB, or fetal heart monitoring, FHM, fetal heartbeat, fetal heart monitoring, and this is used by a Doppler device. A Doppler device, and it could happen at the 10 to 12 week mark. So that's one way to have a confirmation that the mother is pregnant. And ultrasound visualization. Ultrasound visualization. Visualization of fetus, obviously. So fetal heartbeat, fetal heart monitoring using a Doppler device at the 10 to 12 week mark. So that's for that one. And ultrasound visualization of fetus. That's another way. And the third one is fetal movement, palpated or observed by a healthcare provider. Fetal movement. By palpated or observed by a healthcare provider. So palpated or observed. By a healthcare provider. All right, that is a positive diagnosis of pregnancy. So earlier I did the presumptive signs of pregnancy, and then I did the probable signs of pregnancy, which are objective signs by an examiner. And these are absolute proof, which are called positive signs of pregnancy. And there are three: fetal heartbeat, fetal heartbeat / fetal heart monitoring using a Doppler device at a 10 to 12 week mark. And you have number 2, you have ultrasound visualization of fetus. And number 3, you have fetal movement, palpated or observed by a healthcare provider. Thank you. So for an expected date of birth, ultrasound is our gold standard. That is the best way to determine the expected date of birth is via ultrasound. Now for Naegele's rule, this is a little formula. Naegele's rule is a way to calculate when the expected date of birth will be. And the formula for that is going to be your first day of last menstrual period minus 3 months plus 7 days equals your expected date of birth. So that's Naegele's rule. Last day of menstrual period minus 3 months plus 7 days. And it's important to note it's the first day of last menstrual period, not last day of last menstrual period. So your menstrual period is 7 days. It has to be the first day of your last menstrual period. And just make sure it's not the last day. So that might be a trick. So that's Naegele's rule right there. And it's also important to note, expected date of birth, ultrasound is the gold standard for determining expected date of birth, not necessarily Naegele's rule. Naegele's rule is just a formula. Thank you.